symbol of seduction, death, and rebirth.
Mara! Hello, everyone.
Welcome to Mythology Journey. Today I'm going to tell you about Mara, a figure who appears in different forms in different mythologies, both frightening and alluring. Mara is not just a demon or a devil, but also appears as a complex symbol containing deep meanings such as seduction, death, and rebirth. Her story is a long and fascinating journey that spans from mythology to the present day, revealing the complexity of human nature and the cycle of life. Mara's figure has been interpreted differently in various cultures and belief systems over the centuries, sometimes seen as a feared and demonized being, while at other times she has been accepted as a symbol of the cycle of life and rebirth. Her story raises important questions about basic human experiences such as desires, fears, illusions, and reality, and continues to be debated today. Although there is no definite information about Mara's origins and exactly where he came from, it is known that he appears in different ways and with different characteristics in different mythologies and belief systems. In Buddhist mythology, Mara is usually depicted as a malevolent, seductive, and obstructive demon, a devil who tries to prevent Buddha from enlightenment, that is, from seeing the truth and freeing himself from controllable desires. Mara tries to distract Buddha from his path by frightening him, seducing him, and creating various illusions. In Christian mythology, on the other hand, Mara appears as a dark, demonic figure associated with death, sin, seduction, and controllable desires. Here too, Mara is depicted as a force that tempts people to sin, enslaves them to their controllable desires, and leads them astray. Mara, who's depicted in different ways and with different characteristics in different mythologies and belief systems, is usually depicted as a seductive, deceptive, charming, tempting, and deadly figure. His existence emphasizes how powerful and dangerous controllable desires, controllable passions, and controllable impulses can be, and the importance of controllable will and controllable mind. In Buddhist mythology, the malevolent being Mara does everything in his power to prevent Siddhartha Gautama from achieving enlightenment. First, he sends beautiful women, renowned for their allure, then hideous-looking monsters to assail Buddha. He even dispatches his own daughters to seduce Buddha and thus divert him from his path. However, Buddha demonstrates great resilience against all these attempts at temptation, never wavering in his resolve, and ultimately succeeds in attaining enlightenment. This compelling legend symbolizes the immense power of Mara's temptations and the importance of Buddha's resistance to that power. In Buddhist mythology, Mara emerges as a figure with diverse and profound meanings. He symbolizes not only temptation and deception, but also negative concepts such as death, sin, darkness, and ignorance. He represents the dark thoughts within a person's mind, along with uncontrollable desires and passions. However, Mara's symbolism is not limited to these aspects. He also signifies the cycle of life, constant change, and rebirth. Just as a seed is buried in the ground and sprouts anew, Mara reminds us that a new beginning is possible after death and destruction. In this sense, Mara also embodies the potential power and capacity for transformation within a person. The story of Mara has served as a source of inspiration for countless artists throughout the centuries. In various fields such as painting, sculpture, literature, music, and even theater, depictions and narratives of Mara have been enriched and interpreted in diverse ways by artists. Particularly in Buddhist art, Mara is often portrayed attempting to distract Buddha from the path to enlightenment, employing various tactics of temptation. In these depictions, Mara appears before Buddha, sometimes in the form of beautiful women, other times as terrifying monsters, and even disguised as his own daughters. However, Buddha's resolve and resistance are always emphasized in these portrayals. Artists effectively express Mara's power of temptation and Buddha's triumph over this power through symbols and allegories. Mara's story has been explored not only in Buddhist art, but also in Western art at times, reimagined with different interpretations. Mara continues to live on not only in Buddhist mythology, but also in popular culture from mythology to the present day. Over the centuries, numerous references to Mara or his story have been made in various ways in many films, TV series, video games, and books. For example, while some fantasy works feature evil characters with traits similar to Mara, the theme of battling Mara is explored in some action and adventure games. Even in some science fiction works, Mara's symbolic meanings and story have been used to represent malevolent beings in different galaxies or dimensions. This shows just how enduring and influential Mara is as a mythological figure, and how he has become ingrained in humanity's collective unconscious across different cultures and eras. These diverse reflections of Mara in popular culture are proof of just how universal and timeless his story and symbolism are. Mara's story is just one of the riches that Buddhist mythology and philosophy offer us. His multifaceted character contains deep and symbolic meanings, such as temptation, death, and rebirth. Mara can be interpreted not only as an external figure, but also as a reflection of the human inner world. His existence reminds us that we must confront the dark sides within ourselves, our uncontrollable desires and passions. Mara's power of temptation actually represents a person's tendency toward their own weaknesses and dependencies. His death-bringing and destructive aspect allows us to understand the cyclical nature of life and that everything is temporary. However, Mara's symbolism is not limited to these things. He is also a sign of rebirth and transformation. Just as a seed is buried in the ground and germinates, difficulties and obstacles can also lead to new beginnings and development. Struggling with Mara actually symbolizes a person's struggle with the darkness, fears, and weaknesses within themselves. Although this struggle is not always easy, it offers an opportunity for a person to get to know themselves, overcome themselves, and transform into a better version of themselves. Mara's story teaches us important lessons such as understanding the cycle of life, change, and rebirth. His character represents the potential power within a person, the capacity for transformation, and the ability to resist life's difficulties. Mara's story has been a source of inspiration for many artists, thinkers, and people in spiritual quest for centuries. His symbolism helps us understand a person's relationship with their own inner world, the meaning of life, and how we should stand in the face of difficulties. Mara appears to us as a figure who reminds us that we cannot reach the light without facing the darkness, and that we cannot realize our potential without overcoming difficulties.